Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Life with Annie. And it's about 9 o'clock here, and I'm going to put something in my crock pot for our supper tonight, and I thought I would invite y'all into the kitchen while I do that. Makes it a little bit more fun for me. So I'm going to make the carnitas. Now, I don't do it the traditional way. I found this crock pot recipe a couple of years ago. Well, actually, Matt found it, and so we've been kind of using it since then. It's a crock pot version, and I usually just put everything in the crock pot. If you want your carnitas, which is basically just pork, and if you want them crispy, you can put them in the oven after it's done in your crock pot on a sheet pan, and just let the meat kind of crisp up a little bit. But we don't usually do that. It's just our preference. So I see people are joining me. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming into my kitchen. So I've got about a 6 pound, just over 6 pound pork roast, Boston butt, whatever. I usually buy Boston butts. This comes in our butcher box. So I didn't have to buy one this time. I already had it. So I've got that in my crock pot. And I ran out of crock pot liner, so I'm just doing it in the vessel itself. Good morning, everybody. All right, so let's just throw this together so I can get it started so it can start cooking, and the smell will just permeate the house, and it'll be a good meal tonight. All right, so I've got my pork roast in there. Now you're gonna need 1 onion, and I thought I had some yellow onions, but I had one left, but it was on its way out the door. So I did have some, I call them purple onions, red onions. And so I'm substituting that instead of the yellow onion. And it calls for 1 jalapeno pepper. When I was at the store buying the ingredients, I couldn't remember how many peppers, so I bought 2. I'm probably gonna put both of them in there because they're really not that hot. And with all the other ingredients and the size of the pork, it's probably gonna be just fine. And Matt can handle it, and I'm pretty sure I can handle it. So there are those 2 ingredients. And then you're going to need some lime juice, which I already have some in this little cup here, but I've got some more limes for tonight, so we can kind of squeeze some lime juice over our carnitas. So I've got that there. You're going to need 3 cloves of garlic, or in my case, jarlic. I had this in the refrigerator, so I'm just going to spoon out what I think would be kind of close to 3 cloves. And let's see, you're going to need some spices. You're going to need a teaspoon of some paprika, a teaspoon of dried parsley, a teaspoon of oregano, teaspoon of cayenne, a teaspoon of cumin, and a teaspoon of chili powder. Then you're going to need 2 teaspoons of salt and a half a teaspoon of black pepper. So I think those are all the ingredients. If I feel like I've left something out, I will let you know. But I'm just going to put all this together in here. I'm going to go ahead and just drop this onion in here because I need to cut up this other pepper. And usually with the pepper, I have kitchen gloves. Well, I don't have any kitchen gloves. I'm out. So I may do with a little quart size bag, and I was able to cut this first pepper, because you don't want to touch the hot peppers and then, you know, it kind of stays on your skin and then you rub your eye or something, and it wouldn't be a good thing. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this one. And really the hot part of the peppers is the seeds and the membrane inside. So if you get rid of that, then it's not going to be near as hot. So y'all let me do this real quick. gonna come over to my trash can here and get these seeds and this membrane out so we can just use the pepper. So what are y'all cooking today? Anybody else putting something in a crock pot on this cold day? It got down in the 20s last night. Okay, got that one pretty well. Let me do the other piece. Yeah, Matt had to go outside last night and hook up the heat lamps in the chicken coop so they wouldn't get too cold. But they're clearly okay because Bo has been out there cock-a-doodle-doing all morning. Okay, let's see. All right. I'm just going to cut these up while I've still got this bag on my hand, just to get this out of the way. But it's good to know you can improvise when you don't have what you need. You can probably find something around your house to make it work. Go ahead and put that part in. Speaking of the chickens, y'all, I went out to feed them yesterday, and there were actually 3 eggs. So we are back in business, hopefully, with the eggs. And I made what I call a big salad for our meal last night. And I cooked 3 of the eggs. I hard boiled 3 of the eggs and put them in our salad. They were so good. All right, I got one more little piece of jalapeno. Put that down in there, and then we can get rid of this. I'm going to give my hands a quick rinse just in case I got a little bit of that jalapeno on them. And y'all, they keep throwing the snow word around. We have one forecaster here that I think he wants it to snow so bad, he just thinks if he keeps posting it might do it. But now I'm hearing we may possibly, our best chance is Sunday. I don't want any snow. So I hope we don't get any, but if we do, we'll be prepared. Okay, so I'm going to put what I think is roughly 3 cloves of garlic in here. Now you can do this in the Instapot. If you do, I think you have to add some water to it. All right, so that's what we've got so far, y'all. Let me bring it over to you. I can lift this beast. Here we go, the start of our carnitas. Now we're just going to add in our spices and our lime juice. And let me move y'all over so y'all can see. I've got all my little jars here. So we need, this is a ½ teaspoon, so I'm going to dip twice in all the ones that need a whole teaspoon. So this is, I think this was the cayenne pepper. No, this is the paprika. A teaspoon of that. Teaspoon of parsley, and this is a teaspoon of cayenne, and of course if you don't like, if you think it's going to be a little too hot for you, leave out some of the jalapeno, leave out some of the cayenne pepper. This is the oregano. And this is cumin. And this is chili powder. It's definitely going to be flavorful. Okay, then we need to put, I think it's a half a teaspoon of pepper and 2 teaspoons of salt. So that's a fourth. So I'm going to do 2 of these for the pepper. And then we're going to need 2 teaspoons of salt. So I'm going to do this 4 times for the salt. Vicki says that they had a cold front with lots of wind and some snow in Indiana. Yeah, we've had some pretty big wind this year for some weird reason. A lot of wind. All right, then I'm going to just drizzle this lime juice over. And like I said, I have more limes for us to use when the carnitas are done. And I will squeeze this over. All right, y'all, I'm going to move this over to the other side so I can plug it up since I've got things plugged up here. And I'll be right back. And y'all, our supper is going to get going. And I've got that turned on low, and it's going to cook for 6 to 8 hours in our case. Okay, so it is started. What a great day it's going to be. I'm going to go ahead and put the lids back on all these spices. I need to refill my paprika and my chili powder. And my cumin. It's cold and snowy in West Virginia. Hey, Nancy. Lori Ann's in Brooklyn, Michigan. Is that Michigan? Let me get these lids on here. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do today. I got all my laundry caught up. I guess I could do a little bit more organization. But who knows? I've already had my breakfast. I had my smoothie. Linda says, what did you start? If you're talking about what I've prepped in the crock pot, it's carnitas. It's a big old pork roast with a bunch of spices and onion and jalapenos, little lime juice. And let's see. Good morning, Debbie and Stacy and Denise. Yes, Denise, this is live. For a few minutes longer, I'm gonna get off of here and get my day going. I've already had a pretty productive day. I got up, I made my smoothie, I've got my supper going. I'll probably run the vacuum cleaner today, stuff like that. But maybe I can get all that done in the morning, and then the afternoon I can watch a movie or something. Oh, someone in South Georgia said they may have a winter mix. We're in upstate South Carolina, so I think the bulk of this front that's coming through might be just in the mountain area. But you never know. Sometimes, you know, we've had some crazy weather the last couple of years. Actually, since we moved here. We moved here to this house in toward the end of 2019, and where we came from, which was just across the road, there were no trees falling or anything. The first year we moved here, that spring of 2020, trees just started coming down. Every time we had a storm, we lost so many trees in our yard. Neighbors lost trees. And it's been like that kind of for 3 years. And then when we had the Hurricane Helene come through, was it last year, the year before last? That was a disaster. The whole upstate, it was just a disaster. Trees everywhere. So we've got one large tree in our yard. And it's the only tree that really gives us any shade in the front of the house. But it's such a big hardwood tree that if it falls, it'll split our house in two. So I think we're going to have that one cut down. I know the people that we use to cut our trees, and the ones that have come and, you know, cut up what fell. He said, this is why I won't have hardwood trees in my yard, because they're just, if they fall, they're so dangerous. Well, any tree. The first time, and this was at my old house, a tree limb had fallen off a tree in the front yard. And, you know, I didn't know how heavy trees were, and I went out there just to pick it up and move it. It woke my eyes up to exactly how powerful they are. Those things are heavy just for a limb. I couldn't get over it. I was like, wow, if this falls, you're in trouble. But yeah, nature is nature. Good morning, Karen in Manitoba. Oh, I think Thunder is awake. So I'm not going to be on here much longer, because I do want to let them out. Matt left for work. They went to sleep. And now I'm in here yapping, and I guess he's like, what am I missing? What am I missing? Barbara, how far am I from Conway? I actually have if y'all watch Amanda's page, she lives, well, she was born in Conway, and my sister lived in Conway. She lives more toward Myrtle Beach now, and Amanda lives more toward out a little bit, but yeah, I'm very familiar with Conway. So, it's a pretty town. Y'all have, Conway, they do up their Christmas decorations, their Halloween decorations, all the lights, just like a movie on TV. It is very, very professional looking. Okay, buddy, I'm going to let you out just a minute. So, y'all, I guess I'm going to get off of here, because Thunder says, come and let me out. I want to go outside. And I don't want him barking and, you know, in y'all's ear all morning. So, I just wanted to show y'all, I'm just doing these quick carnitas. It's a good thing to do when you know, if you have a lot of things you want to get done around the house, plan for a day and make a meal in it that you can put in your crock pot, and everything will be cooking while you're doing what you need to do. I am going to serve this. I bought some romaine lettuce, and you could serve it in a tortilla wrap or anything like that. But the first time I made it, we did it on the romaine lettuce, and it was so good, and you're not eating those extra carbs or anything. So we're going to do that with ours tonight, and I know they will be good. So, hey Jeanette, hey Lori. It's only 21 degrees there. Yeah, I think it's going to get down to, was it 21 tonight? As of this morning. Now, you know that kind of changes. Did y'all's Alexa voice change? Ours has been asking us every time, you know, she gives us a notification. We'll say, Alexa, what's the notification? And she'll say, whatever it is. And then she'll say, and would you like to change my voice or something? And I always say no, but I noticed the other day she sounds younger and faster. So I don't know if Matt said, yeah, change it, and it changed, or if it did it on its own. But anyway, she sounds a little more young, a little more hip. Okay, y'all, I'm going to get off of here, because that little fella, he's going to start barking. And I see his nose sticking through the door there. So, I got to let them out. But I appreciate y'all stopping by, and I hope y'all are having a great day. I hope y'all are planning a great supper for your meal tonight. And I'll post our finished carnitas. Remember, I'm not going to crisp them up and do it the traditional way. I don't ever do anything the way it's supposed to be done. I'm just going to do them the way we like them, and I know we'll enjoy them. So thank y'all so much for stopping by. Have a great day, and we'll see you again soon. Bye, everybody.